I took a leap of faith from a bridge that wasn't burning like the other ones I'd set on fire long ago, but a bridge I longed to leave behind me, with its wobbling ropes and cracked boards, several missing. I've grown weary of those pale faces, of resignation, standing still, looking at their reflections in the water below, imitating narcissists while pretending not to notice the rope threads unraveling. I took a leap of faith, and now I'm suspended in midair. Gravity waits, poised, ready to pull me back down there. Where the rhythmless footsteps of triviality's death march turn the suicide wheel, perpetuating the humming pulse of artificial intelligence, taking on now a life of its own. And all along those concrete zones, the fentanyl burns from tombstone stairs at every bus stop, as mufflerless motors scream, down the road with the sound of missing masculinity, and sirens mark the hours like red flashing clocks counting down a calendar cycle, a cycle that ends when buttons get pushed and mushroom clouds boom. And all subscriptions are canceled as the gods sweep their brooms, or when the seven sons of Dharma align in accord with the striking of Vishnu's comet sword, or when the Christ returns in full glory as promised by the Word. Scriptures of the West, scriptures of the East, the shifting of the Brahman, the workings of the beast. When every prophecy bestowed upon man finally converges, and all the grids are blown as such a power surges from the unacknowledged depths deep within ourselves. But what the hell, we're not there yet. Almost, but not quite. So I'll coast along this trajectory on which my leap of faith has carried me, without the need to understand why that man put the envelope in my hand. $399 for 21 hours of tax-free pay. This isn't going to work out, he'd say, before I made my way down the road to the nearest bus stop. Routes 35 and 77 got me back to Baseline and Central. From there, I took the 20-minute walk home in the dark, with my travel bag now carrying an envelope stuffed with cash, while armed with nothing, just a box cutter and salty wits. After nearly getting hit by a car making a right turn right at me, I made it to my building. At the corner stood my good friend, who had moved out a month ago, smoking the trendy poison with some sketchy-looking dude. Hey, what's up, Ryan? His proud, young, gifted essence, pasted over with an absent appearance which I'd seen before. I thought he was off that shit. 22 years old and kicking a shovel into his grave plot, my young black friend. I nod, hey man, listen, I'm heading in. I can't deal with the smell of that shit. Okay, man. He offers an awkward handshake, and then I walk to my door. He knows I don't judge him. Knows that I remember where I was at 22. How a woman of witchcraft introduced me to heroin and schooled me on a few other things. A story for another day. I get inside my door, turn down the thermo, and let the AC ride. I just don't know shit. It's like I was born yesterday and was up late studying, but went blank upon the final exam, and all the while it keeps on getting darker, as less and less people are capable of talking about anything, or so it seems. That night I slipped into a dream and met up with my muse in back of an old farmhouse. We sat on a rusty chained porch swing facing an open field as the sun was going down. She represents my creativity and speaks to my consciousness, in and out of the dream world. She begins the dialogue. Ain't it about time for some of that $5 red wine? How timely of you to show up, I say. You've been good lately, but we need to loosen up this knot. Just a tug on the vine? Nah, let's give it time. And since when has it ever been just a tug? It always works. Yeah, so well that we just keep on doing it. What's wrong with that, she asks. Do we have to do this now? I say, we know what's wrong with that, but she continues. How long do you expect to stay here with your schedules and your vitamins? Are you going to go gently into that good night on your own terms, when all that's out there is The Walking Dead and QR codes? Well, what do you think is going to happen if the rent doesn't get paid? Because that's where we're headed, I confirm. So what do you suggest, coffee boy? Release, I say. Release? Yeah. Like releasing the bowstring. Without thinking, the decision and the release are simultaneous. One. What about the writing ritual? Isn't it getting kind of old, do you think? How long can we watch the same black and white movie, listening to the same songs with candles, incense? And the wine, she interrupts me. It's like watching The Wizard of Oz with the volume turned down, while listening to Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, stoned, only much better. We'll find a new ritual, I say. She sulks. You know I love you, but you can be a real tool sometimes. I love you too, but you can be a real pain in the ass sometimes. But what would you do without me? She asks. I suppose I'd be snorting up my vitamins and jogging at 5 a.m. each in the morning, I reply. She smiles as she hands me a conspicuous-looking arrow. I look to my right and find a bow. We get up from the swing and walk a few yards into the field. It's nearly dark. I draw back the bowstring with the arrow. Are you with me? I ask. She places her hand upon mine as I hold the arrow in place, aiming at the moon, for a reason I can't explain in rational terms. I turn my head and we lock eyes. Her wild irises relax and settle into a calm stare, a look of acceptance, though her touch of larceny is still there. But I wouldn't trust her if it wasn't. She gently squeezes her grip. The knot in my gut loosens. She is with me. I am with her. A silent cue finds us together. We let it fly.